Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jordan here with another Warhammer Total War live battlecast. So in this game, it looks like I'm playing against the vampire counts. So I'm actually going to mix it up a little bit today, guys, and we are going to use ARCHAON the Ever-Chosen. So definitely should be fun for all. And the Flaming Sword of Ruin and fire damage in general is quite good against vampire counts. And also he does have magical damage on his melee attack with 480 weapon strength, so he can hit pretty hard against the right units. So, and that also saves us a little bit of money if you guys look at it in perspective. I don't need a Chaos Sorcerer anymore, so I can invest in other things. So we're going to go ahead and get him just an Exalted Hero. It's pretty nice to have just in case ARCHAON goes down. Having that secondary encouragement is quite strong. So we're going to do that. And then as far as our troops go, let's see here. Tough choices, guys. Tough choices. Chaos Warriors would be pretty good. Again, he's probably just going to bring massive amounts of Graveguard, those type of things like that. So a decent kind of middle ground against the vampire counts is bringing Chaos Warriors with Halberds. It's actually pretty good because their armor piercing is enough that they can fight against Graveguard, and they also have anti-large against heroic units, Crypt Horrors, those type of things, which are very, very popular in this matchup. So we're going to bring 4 groups of those guys. We're going to bring some Forsaken, because if he does bring, fodder units, it's really nice to just send 2 groups of Forsaken with their massive charge bonus, really high weapon strength, who can just cut through them like butter. So that's something that I like to do. A group of Chaos Spawn actually wouldn't be terrible in this matchup. I'm trying to think of what Skeleton Spearmen, though, yeah, it'll be good. I think the Chaos Spawn will be decent. And, one question you got to ask yourself against the Vampire Counts is, do you want to play the Cavalry Warfare game? Do you want to try and match their Blood Knights with Dragon Ogres? And I don't think so. So I'm actually just going to have a very infantry-heavy army and hope that it works out for me. So on that same note, do I want to bring another Exalted Hero? It might not be a terrible idea, but I also could just bring, let's see, the Chaos Chosen would be good. I could just bring, some fodder units. Marauders, of course, there's no point here, but bringing these armor-piercing guys wouldn't be terrible. And then bringing a group of these guys would be pretty good. So then also, I could get some Chaos Warhounds with poison. It's not terrible. You can kind of hide them in the wings. And let's see. Okay, so this is an open map, so there's not going to be much of hiding anything. I could just kind of mess around a little bit, guys, and get like a Hell Cannon. What do you guys think of that? Sounds like fun, right? Let's just do it. So we're going to go here and just pump some chevrons into my lower tier troops because, again, you do want them to last a little while. You don't want them to just get completely crumbled. And, again, arguably the Chosen aren't really worth it because you can get like 2 full groups. And the stat difference is there, but I don't know. Do I want to get the Chosen? Yeah, let's just do it, guys. Let's go big. We got ARCHAON. We got the Ever-Chosen. Why not get some Chosen themselves to stay in character here? So we'll see how this goes. I'm probably going to severely regret bringing that Hell Cannon as soon as it gets dove by, any number of the Vampire Counts, Fellbats, or mobile units. But, I can always just assign one of my fodder units, or Forsaken for that matter. Forsaken will absolutely cut through those type of units. And having the one Hell Cannon does force your opponent to come to you and kind of takes away a little bit of their ability to dictate the pace of the fight. So I could turtle up here on this hill. That's always a good time. But the problem with that is if your units get routed off, they have a very short distance to the edge of the map, and they will not come back. So that's one of the advantages of going out in open field. But on the same time, against Vampire Cats, you don't want to be in open field, especially as Chaos, because their cavalry will outmaneuver you. They'll cycle charge. But thankfully, most of my army, guys, is just Halberdiers. So we'll see how that pans out. I feel like the difference between the Halberdiers and the Great Weapons is almost something you can neglect for the sake of that anti-large bonus, which is pretty good, guys. All right, so we're ready to party. Let's see, where do I want to deploy? Do I want to just go for it? I mean, I guess if my units are getting routed off, most of them have pretty high leadership with the exception of these Chaos Marauders. So we'll go ahead and put the Hell Cannon up here. We're doing it, guys. We're going on the hill. We're helm steeping it today. So we'll put these guys in the front line here. This is going to be my core. Although, do I want to put these guys in the front line? Yeah, let's just put these Junkers in the front line. We'll put these guys over here, these guys over here, and probably put this group of Halberdiers. I can kind of actually leave them in the wings. I'm totally fine with that. And then the Chosen can be front and center, because this line is obviously going to collapse here, so the Chosen will be a pretty good follow-up. And then, let's see, what do I have left? Some Forsaken. So Forsaken can come here, and they can be... So where do I want the Forsaken? So I could kind of develop like a secondary strategy in terms of the shot combat. We want him here, and we want ARCHAON, of course, among the troops in this Exalted Hero. So the Exalted Hero and the Chaos Spawn and these guys, they can kind of be maybe a goon squad that kind of moves together. So let's go ahead and put them out there right now and have this be our primary group and put this in group 3. And group 2 can be my shot combat group. So I could move forward just a little bit. I think that's probably fine. It does take away a little bit of the high ground, but it also gives me a little more maneuverability here. So put these guys here and put these guys up here. Yeah, let's make them a little wider. All right, guys, let's see how this goes. So the Hell Cannon, am I in range of anything? He does have the Dire Pack, and you see he did invest in like a lot of cavalry and things like that. So actually going to work out pretty well for me, the fact that, you know, I didn't bring cav, and I do have a ton of halberdiers and anti-large troops and those type of things. So that Hell Cannon is shooting at Fellbats, which is pretty funny. So definitely not what we want, but he probably is going to land some, you know, some of those Fellbats on that thing. So I'm actually going to just put Forsaken right on top of it here. Pull this guy out here, and it looks like he is going to, you know, try and move out and about here. And what does he have up there on the mount? Is that Manfred? Oh, I haven't seen Manfred in a while. That's pretty cool. So, all right, so he's got the Blood Knights coming around, and I think I probably want to reform ranks here. So we're just going to kind of move to mirror what my opponent is doing, and this will open up the cavalry, but, you know, honestly, I think I'll be okay. And this group, actually, I'm just going to leave here as the dedicated bodyguard of the Hell Cannon, which will hopefully be pretty decent. So I'm going to just move him into range to shoot at those units. And unfortunately, I don't have any like flying units, so I can't really punish my opponent for anything, really. So we'll put this guy back here as well, and where is he in the group? So he can be in group 4 as well, the bodyguard unit. So he may try and dive me with Manfred, which would be interesting. So we'll see. ARCHAON's here. He does have Kindle Flame and you know, a multitude of other good abilities in this matchup. We'll go ahead and start shooting at the Graveguard here, and I don't know if it's in range yet, but we'll go ahead and use that. Got the Halberdiers here, and I think we're about ready, guys. So I can actually just pull these Halberdiers here. I don't want to let him get a free charge on these Forsaken here. Definitely do not want that. And, you know, this one group of halberdiers, to be honest, can usually do pretty good for himself. So we're going to use the boom, and you can see I actually made pretty good contact here. So I'm not sure if he's landing. No, it doesn't look like he is at the moment. So I do have these Forsaken in the wings over here, so I can use them to outflank those Graveguard. No, they don't have armor piercing. So we'll go ahead and move these guys up and move these guys back, because he is using that line damage ability. So you can see, if you are paying attention, it's usually pretty easy to dodge. But I could have easily been looking somewhere else and missed that. So thankfully that worked out quite well for me, actually. And it looks like the Hell Cannon has made pretty good contact. It actually decimated about half of that group there. So I'm going to shoot at the Sternsman, because if it overshoots the Sternsman, then, you know, at the very least, you know, he might try and charge these guys. So I'm actually going to bring them back here and move these Chosen up. Move these guys up here, just because I don't want these Blood Knights to get a good charge here. So you can see he immediately sees the transition there, and he is probably not going to go through with that. Get these guys up here, and these Chosen actually were able to catch a few of them, so that's a pretty nice deal for me. Maybe they'll get a kill or two. That would actually be really nice. So we're going to reform our ranks here, and it looks like the Fellbats are continuing to... They came in, but I did have some troops waiting for them, so go ahead and reform here. And what is this White King doing? Does he really want to fight those guys? All right, to each their own. So we'll move those guys over there, see if I can catch my opponent off guard, and we're going to go ahead and land here, and we'll pull these guys in here. And ARCHAON can now go up, which is totally fine. If he's committing here, this is great, because I can just use the Flaming Sword of Ruin, which at the very least will help deal with that White King there. So I'm able to get the Dire Pack with those Chaos Knights, and we'll move this group up, and we're just going to start forming like move him here, and move these guys here, and move these guys here, move these guys here, and where do we want these guys? So we want those guys on the Graveguard, which would be a pretty good situation. And honestly, the Dire Pack is a pretty useless unit against me in this matchup. We'll put those guys on the Cryptors, and yeah, these guys should actually be able to deal with the Cryptors fairly well. So with ARCHAON, we're going to go ahead and use his different buffs here. We're going to pull these guys into support. We're going to use the Cascading Fire Cloak to give the armor piercing there, and move these guys up here and these guys here. So these Halberdiers should be able to defend that Hell Cannon, although to be honest, there's not really any reason to defend it anymore. But if my opponent still thinks it's a valuable target, I'm going to, you know, at least show that I'm interested in it. Over here, it's going pretty well. The Chaos Spawn are doing quite well against those Graveguard, and my opponent's Manfred is tied up on that unit here. Oops, sorry about that, guys. So I'm going to pull ARCHAON back a little bit, because my opponent was starting to focus him. And you can see these Halberdiers are doing a pretty good job keeping pace and are able to tie up those Blood Knights. So not a lot of great targets for a lot of his units here, to be honest. And it looks like Manfred is actually starting to take some damage. And let's see, where do I want to win the battle here? So he does have quite a bit invested over here. So the the Flaming Sword of Ruin on these Chaos Spawn is going to be really good against those guys. So go ahead in here and get these guys engaged, and just constantly be checking around the battlefield. It looks like I actually won pretty decisively here. So I'm actually going to kind of come up and around here with these Forsaken, because they're fast enough that it's worth it. So we'll go ahead and do a rear charge here, and because I want to get that two-pronged value out of that. So Hell Cannon is back online, and we'll just have these guys fall up here. And as soon as I can, these guys are going to rear charge here. So then ARCHAON, he is here, and I'm going to pull him back. He keeps getting a little overzealous here, and these guys are finally coming in here, so that should be pretty good. And ARCHAON's very hard to kill, guys. He's quite resilient, actually. Pretty high combat stats across the board. So over here, Forsaken are doing quite well. They got a rear charge in this Graveguard here, and these Halberdiers are trying to chase these guys down. But again, Chaos Infantry typically have people run laps around him. But if I can win this primary engagement here, it looks like he is Spirit Leeching me, which is pretty tough. Again, that's going to be a very cost-effective mechanism against ARCHAON. So we'll go ahead and just keep working on the swordsman. Once the cascading fire cloak is up, it's going to be a very good situation for me. And the halberdiers are slowly starting to catch up to my opponent's troops here. Let's get Archaon back, use the cascading fire cloak, and these guys don't look like they're optimally engaged. Sometimes that happens. So we're going to pull up and around here. It looks like I was actually able to win that. That rear charge really led to crumbling. So we'll go ahead and put Archaon, the Lord of the End Times here, and we'll pull this heroic unit as well. It looks like I got this Blood Knights pretty well on lockdown here. He is using Invocation of Heck on them, which is fine, but I do need the help here. And Archaon and Manfred is a very strong duelist as well, so we'll go ahead and use this. We're going to use the Cascading Fire Cloak for the armor piercing, and this rear charge here should be enough to really drive home the anvil against my opponent's forces. Unfortunately, he is winning pretty heavily over there, so let's actually start firing into that group. Might as well. I was kind of not firing for a while, but and you can see Manfred is taking a beat down. Archaon is no joke, guys. He has 450 weapon strength to Archaon, who is currently with his buffs at 534, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty scary. So we'll go ahead and keep chasing Manfred. He is stable, although we got to be careful because he does have these Blood Knights coming after him. So let's go ahead and lap back around, pull some of these halberdiers to help out, kind of form a defensive pocket there, and kind of just keep Archaon nice and safe in there. And it's kind of just going to come down to just a Zerg battle. So we'll go ahead and do this, and they're moving up to shoot, and if they can make 1 or 2 good contacts over there, I think we'll be okay. So let's see. So this Exalted Hero, I can actually just, we want to keep him in the fight. He's doing a pretty good job here. And Archaon is doing good as well. So it looks like most of these troops are going down, but let's see. Use Doom and Darkness for leadership, which actually might force a rout on some of my lower tier units. So let's actually go ahead and just have these guys keep chasing him. And even though they probably won't catch him, it's still forcing my opponent to pay attention and, have to deal with that. So what does he have here? He has a White King, and I have to be really careful with Archaon. I cannot afford to lose him in a matchup this close. So Archaon, I'm just going to kind of keep lurking back here, and it looks like a lot of these low-tier units are starting to get worn down, and he may try and dive me with Manfred, which would be, pretty good call for sure. So we'll go ahead and switch the missile, get these little Chaos Swords back on their operation here, and you see he started to come in, and he's going for the cheese. So we're just going to try and trade here and see if we can. He is targeting Archaon with those Cryptors, so I'm going to just kind of run him around here, just kind of cut him back through the posse and pull those troops out. So yeah, he's really going for it right now, guys. So this is basically just Benny Hill. I gotta survive the best I can. And this guy, I can go ahead and have start shooting over here. If I can make a good contact with that White King, that would probably be really good. So use this, and I might save up for a fireball, but to be honest, I don't think I can afford to. I just need every buff I can get to, pull this battle out here. And it looks like Manfred is coming in here. So if I can actually get him here, Archaon has that really high weapon damage, guys. So if he can get in, and you can see that initial contact he made, he actually did a ton of damage. And is he gonna kill Manfred actually? Oh, that would be so big. But it looks like yep, he got him. Lord of the End Times, definitely not disappointing, guys. All right, so we're going to keep moving over here. No, we do not want you shooting into my troops. That is very bad. So these halberdiers, these Chosen, definitely not the best use of them to have them defending there, but we'll get the Chosen up here. And once these guys get in, hopefully their leadership won't break. Let's get Archaon back. And what troops do I have left here? So looks like these guys are coming back, these guys are coming back, and these guys are coming back. So we'll use this, pull him back just a little bit, because those Cryptors with their armor piercing could finish him off potentially. So still a very close fight, guys. Let's get Archaon back, and to be honest, I should probably just have him fight, pushing out of there. He does a lot of damage, so anything he can do to help finish off this battle will be pretty strong. And let's actually even just pull in the Chaos Dwarfs. Let's just, no, don't shoot in there. We want to hit that, hit the F key to, oh, I guess I can't put them in melee mode. Okay, so I was trying to send them in with their little battle axes that I think they have on their hip there, but it's the last of the battle here, guys. It looks like everything's crumbling. Lord of the End Times doing a pretty good job, and guys, I think bringing all those halberdiers actually paid off. The armor piercing, their ability to deal with these large heroic units, including the White King, was pretty good. You can see I had to be very careful with Archaon to make sure he didn't get picked off there. So looks like that's it, guys. A nice Pyrrhic victory for all. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the breakdown screen there. So Archaon did pretty good. The Forsaken, you guys saw, they were able to isolate certain aspects of my opponent's army, break their ranks, and then rear flank the other groups, which was really good. But man, did these... I should have just gotten 2 groups of halberdiers instead of the Chosen, but these guys did so good. I mean, they cut through Graveguard, especially with the Lore of Fire buffs, and the Chaos Spawn did okay as well. But again, when you don't play that cavalry game against vampire counts and you just kind of allocate more of your forces to anti-large and just keep a tighter formation, granted my formation wasn't the tightest, it can be really cost effective, and the halberdiers just shut down some of these Cryptors. So again, good game to my opponent, Bronze Cup. I look forward to seeing you again on ladder, and I hope you guys enjoyed that ARCHAON the Ever Chosen game. Have an excellent night, and more content coming soon.